In this video, we're going to discuss how to become a freight broker or a freight agent. I'm Benjamin Kowalski with Freight 360, where we provide the latest transportation sales tips and training videos to help you reach your goals faster. If you're new here, make sure you go ahead and hit the subscribe button, and all of the links will be found in the description box below. And for more free content, please be sure to add our weekly podcast, Freight 360, to your playlist. Let's jump into it. Now, most looking into this question have at least heard of or know generally what a freight broker or freight agent does. However, you may not know exactly what qualifies one over the other, or what the legal requirements are. So we'll first cover the definitions and the requirements, and then dig into the pitfalls most commonly discovered by those who haven't researched this first. What is a freight broker? The FMCSA, or the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration, is the lead federal agency responsible for regulating and providing safety oversight of commercial motor vehicles. And they define a freight broker as an intermediary that connects carriers with shippers. And if the shipper has a load going from point A to point B, they'll match that up with a carrier to haul that shipment. What are some of the freight brokerage requirements? Well, you must be licensed with the FMCSA, you must have a bond, and set up your processing agents at a minimum. We also strongly recommend you consider additional insurance such as general liability. With these items in place, anyone can legally operate as a freight broker. That being said, they won't likely be successful without additional tools and expenses that will fuel their business and their sales. We'll jump back into those other tools and expenses in a moment. What is a freight agent? They are independent contractors that work underneath another freight broker and operate on that broker's motor carrier number and authority. How much do freight agents make? Well, they typically operate on straight commission under that broker, and that can range anywhere from 50 to 70%. I coach agents that are making anywhere from a few thousand to hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars per year. The sky really is the limit. And they don't need authority, bonds, or their own insurance. Their primary job is to find shippers and develop more business. Underneath that job function, they also are responsible for the freight, quoting and pricing the loads, booking the carriers, tracking and tracing the loads, and delivering on time and in good condition, which is typically a much smaller set of responsibilities than owning an entire brokerage. Some of the other brokerage responsibilities and tools. One of the things we see most often is that people really underestimate the amount of time and money it takes to do these things. For example, a freight agent is only responsible for cold calling and developing new relationships and booking loads. But owning a freight brokerage, on the other hand, in addition to making 60 to 80 calls a day, they now also have to develop and manage their accounting protocols, the invoicing of their carriers and customers, and the reconciliation of invoices and accessorial charges. And let's not forget about customer credit and bad debt risk. Establishing the protocols for your customer's creditworthiness is paramount. That is, how much and how long to extend credit to each of the shippers you'll actually be working with. Because you're also on the hook for the bad debt expense. That is when your customers don't or won't pay you. If you're an agent, the brokerage you're contracted with is usually responsible for this. Transportation management systems. You'll need to learn and evaluate your transportation management system, which for someone contracted as an agent means learning how to use your broker's system. For owning a brokerage, that entails learning, evaluating, paying for, and in some cases integrating with your accounting and invoicing protocols. So Which choice is really right for you? And which should you choose? We've all heard the statistics that a lot of small businesses don't succeed in their first year. Well, that's because there's a lot of things that go into and doing to operate a business. And we've barely touched the surface in this video. What's important to remember is that there are plenty of ways to see if owning a brokerage is right for you, and that don't involve the same risk and workload of starting a business on top of learning a new industry. But whichever you choose, we'll be here for all of your training and educational needs. And if there's a topic you'd like us to cover on a future video or podcast, please share it in the comments below. And remember, whether you believe you can or believe you can't, you're right.